welcome to the Incredible Internet Business Plan. It's great to see you. Let me see. We are going to co-host you, Mr. Joshua Shafran. You've been co-hosted. All right. So, great. Welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, we can hear you loud and clear. Cool. Awesome. Rock and roll. All right. David Spratt, what's up, man? Alex Monsubs. We got Dave Panamarian. We got Jeff. We got Harold Johnson. What's up, Harold? My middle name's Harold. Nice name. We got Joan Dugaway. Joan, hello. We got the infamous Carrie Smith. I thought you weren't going to be able to make it, Carrie. Nice to see you. It's been a while. We got Kester. We got Max Cantor. Hey, Max. Good to see you, my friend. We got Roland. Hello. Vivian and more. And we have a bunch of people calling in over the phone. So welcome, everybody. I want to make sure that you guys can hear and see me okay. Can you go ahead and type into the chat? Let me know that you can hear me and that you can see my beard. That's really the most important thing here, is that you can see it. My beard is the center of this presentation here today. We're going to teach you how to make money selling beard hair. Just kidding. That's not what we're going to teach you, but little comic relief. Let's see. Max is here. Good to see you. Roland is here. Good morning. Alex says yes. Roland says yes. Jeff says yes. Max says perfect. Joan says yes. Harold says nice beard. Thank you, Harold. I appreciate the beard compliment. You totally get a gold star for the day. Appreciate that very much. Kester says LOL. Yes, I can. The beard's gotten much longer since the last webinar of yours I watched. Awesome, Alex. That's true. It does grow when you don't shave it. No doubt about it. Joan says yes. And Max says, did you trim the beard? I actually trimmed it a couple of days ago. I did some self-grooming because I'm still kind of following some fairly strict COVID rules. So I'm not going into the barber just yet. And so, yeah, I did a pretty good job, honestly. I didn't even need to put any beard oil or any of the special stuff in there. It just kind of holds. It's nice. Thanks for asking. I'm glad so many people care about my beard. Awesome, guys. So we're going to wait just a couple more minutes. Actually, where are you guys tuning in from? Where are you tuning in from? What state and or country are you tuning in from? I'm very curious. And I'm going to just read some of the chat.
Talman, can you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can you do me a favor and make me the full host, and I'll make you co-host for a second? I don't have access to do what I need to do technically on this side.
Yeah, I'll make you the host. All right.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You are welcome, Mr. Host. Awesome. We're going to get started in just a second, guys. Welcome to everybody who's jumped on. If I haven't reached out to you personally, I will do my best to do so in just a moment. I appreciate everybody who's here and who took the time out of this day before Halloween, this nice Friday. We just had the first snowfall up here in Vermont, first snowfall of the season. In case you guys don't know me, or if this is our first time together, my name is Telman Knudsen. That is my real name, and it is my birth name. As a matter of fact, I was named after my great-grandfather, and Telman means man from Telemark. You probably don't know this, but Telemark is in Norway, cold Norway, and it's where telemark skiing comes from. So that's what my name means. And so I love the snow, and I love the fall, and I also really love the winter. And so I had a nice snowball fight with my kids out in the lawn this morning, and followed by some nice hot chocolate. So it was a great way to start the day and really get going. So let's see where you guys are calling in from. Toronto probably has some snow right now, up for you, Kester, right? Phoenix, Arizona probably doesn't have any snow today. Panama in Central America, says Dave. Awesome. Harold is up in Ontario. I don't know. Depending on the weather, you guys may or may not have gotten some snow. Jeff is in from the UK. Max is kicking it in South Florida. Alex is in Southern California. We got Pennsylvania. Rick, did you know I ran across the entire state of Pennsylvania barefoot? Dude, not recommended. Like, oh, it's a long state to run. I spent the long way. Proof you're the host, says Roland. Thanks, Roland. Denver, Colorado. But Jennifer is actually from Scotland and Canada and wants to grow a beard like that. Very wise and distinguished. I like that. Distinguished. I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Greg says Houston, Texas. Roland is not a fan of the White Frozen stuff. New York City. Walks through to love. How's it going? Walks. Hamilton. And why would anyone live where it snows? Shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops every day for me. 92. I love the snow, dude. I wake up in the winter when it's dark and cold. Honestly, I have twice as much energy almost all winter. It's a pretty oh, sorry, Ronald. I was calling you Roland. I do apologize. I stand corrected. All right, guys. Joshua, let me know when and if you are ready to join us on video. Are you on point?
I am. Can you make me co-host again?
Oh, sure.
I gave you back hosting privileges. And we have some technical issues that we can't overcome, but will not stop us from having a great show.
That's what I'm talking about. So this is actually the first time that we've done this presentation, and I was working up on the slides until about half an hour ago. So please excuse any bumps in the road. It's not going to be the smoothest presentation. This is the first time we've done this one, and I'm very excited about it. And my name's Telman Knutson, and I am joined by the absolutely astonishing, the miraculously incredible, the mind-numbingly brilliant Joshua Shafran.
Just mind-numbing.
That's right. You may have caught us over the last 6 months. We've been live streaming between 5 and 7 days a week for like half a year, and it started developing a pretty good following on our Facebook Lives, helping entrepreneurs to really think about things in a new way and build the kind of businesses that they really, really want, right? And Joshua actually was my very first $1 million mentor. Way back when I first got started online in 2003, 2004, I had tried a lot of things. I'm going to share some of those with you here today that didn't work, both in starting my own businesses and in trying various business opportunities online and trying to figure out ways to make money other than working a crappy job somewhere. And for the love of God, I just couldn't, I wasn't able to freaking land a fish, like occasionally I'd get a little money here, a little money there, something would show a glimmer of hope, but like I wasn't able to do anything that really worked. And when I met Joshua and when I learned his way of thinking and doing things, what happened was I created a blueprint for my business. I was able to see for the first time what my business was going to look like after I had built it. And I was able to create a kind of a visual business plan that allowed me to build my first $1 million business and my first $1 million business online. I had 7 failed business attempts under my belt in the real world prior to this. And when I learned these principles, it completely transformed my life. So I'm very much a fan of Joshua and his work, and many of the ideas and concepts that you're going to learn about here today are as a result of not only Joshua and his original work, but then my thinking on that and how I've applied it and how we've both brought it back together now today as we're working together with this new project. So Joshua, before I jump into the incredible internet business plan, is there any, Jennifer says, when was that your first million? I've been on your mailing list since way back in the day. Yeah, like 2004. Really, I think is when, I made my first million between 27 and 28 years old. And when I say I made my first million, that's when I did my first $1 million in sales. And the reality of what that is, I kept about $250,000 to $300,000 of that because as it turned out, most of it was in commissions where I was actually selling other people's stuff, which was not my plan going in, I might add. And I'll tell you more about that later as well. So Joshua.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say to tee this up or kick this off?
No, I mean, Thank you for the introduction, and I'm excited to be a part of this and to have the opportunity to work with some people that I think what you're putting together here and what we're doing in general is a process that is very much needed. And I'm excited that some people are attending this and a part of it with us. So, and I look forward to having it, expand and become more based upon what the questions are as we go along. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Let me, I'm just trying to remember how I told you that this might be a little silly for a minute. This is one of those moments.
Do you want me to vamp?
Vamp?
Yeah, like improv.
Sure, improv.
Well, let's see.
Actually, you know what I was going to say is, guys, with all of you that are here, first question. This is gonna be interactive. There are a few things I want you to do. Number one is I want you to have at least one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, or you could even use a napkin if you needed to. It could be smaller, but a piece of paper and a pen. I want you to have and ideally a marker, right? And we're going to be actually outlining and doing a drawing here today of your internet business plan. You're going to do this with us. And you're going to walk away with a basic idea of the key components that you need in order to really make this thing work. So if you haven't done so already, grab a pen or a marker and grab a pile of paper and get ready, because this is going to be a pretty cool thing. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a bunch of questions. And the first question that I want to ask you is, do you, hey, Deanna, good to see you. She says, thank you, Telman and Josh. I look forward to learning from you and your experience. Awesome. Great to have you here. Appreciate the kind words.
Thank you.
So I want to know, do you have an internet business right now? Yes or no? So just type in yes or no. Do you have an internet business right now that is making you some money, right? And we'll just go ahead and see where people are at. Now, one of the things is that the vast majority, if not all of the people on this training are longtime Telmanites, longtime fans and followers. And guys, like, you've been buying my hypnosis products and services for years. Many of you are private clients. You've been in the Overcome Everything Coaching Club. You've been in the Overcome Everything Inner Circle. You've probably bought the Abundance session. You maybe used the 10K per month session. You've probably trained your brain highly with abundance and money mindset related programs, right? And I want to tell you that there are really, when it comes to actually making money, there are two sides to the coin. And I have a nickel here. It would be better if I had, oh no, I have a quarter. That's better. Quarter is a little bit more valuable than the nickel after all. So there's a coin, right? This is a coin. And this represents, believe it or not, money. And you've been focused on one side of the coin. You've been looking at it head on. You've been focused on the mindset side. And the mindset side is critically important. As a matter of fact, I spent years and years and years on the mindset side as a hypnotherapist, right? I trained myself in the mindset side. I got interested in the mindset side for peak performance and flow state in my distance running. You know, I studied brain waves and binaural beats and astral projection and hypnosis and NLP and the mindset for years. And most of you have been reading my emails, have been listening to the hypnosis sessions, have been using them religiously, and have been training your brain to up-level your money mindset. But this coin isn't two-dimensional. It's three-dimensional. And there's another side to this coin. And the other side of this coin is the action. These are the action steps that you're going to take in the real world once you have the right mindset dialed in order to create the money. It's not going to magically drop in your lap. It's not going to manifest itself without any hard work. It does take work in order to create a scalable, predictable business that pays you a lot of money and does so on a reliable basis. It is not a walk in the park, but it is achievable. this afternoon's presentation is about the other side of the coin. Okay. It's about the action items that you need to take in order to get out of the financial hamster wheel you might be stuck on, in order to get out from under the financial plateau that you've been stuck at, in order to break through the financial glass ceiling that you've either been stuck under, or you might even be going down as a result of the pandemic, COVID, or other outside factors that might be influencing your income or your business.
Hey,
okay, so
Talman, but before you get into the meat of the matter here, would you mind if I asked the folks listening just a little bit of a deeper question?
Please.
So majority of people know that they don't, or they're in the process of redesigning or rebuilding the business. But I'm just curious. I mean, obviously you're here because you would like a internet business plan that you can follow and do. So what is it that you're thinking about that you would like to build? What area, what, if you could wave a magic wand or, poof and have your ideal business, what would that look like? And what would you like to focus in on? Because that will help us, guide you better.
Great. Awesome.
And with that, I'll shut up.
Yeah. Well, in looking at your guys' responses, I see very few yeses and quite a few no's on having a online business. And so the next question that I have is, and this is for everyone, please respond so I have an idea of who is actually here. So, because should I be focused on existing business owners or new business owners? And so my question for you is, next question, just again, it's a yes or no question, is do you have an existing business? I don't care whether it's offline or online, but do you have an existing business? And just go ahead and answer that. Okay, great. Great. So the vast majority of you do have existing businesses, but most of you do not have existing online businesses. Now, good news, good news. What we're going to share with you here this evening can be applied to starting a new business online, brand new, or it can be applied to move an existing business online that perhaps you want more freedom with, or perhaps you have to move online because you've been impacted by COVID and the pandemic. Okay, which is, I can't tell you how many people's businesses have just been crippled as a result of COVID and the pandemic. They know that people are out there who want to buy their stuff. They've been in business for a long time, but it's really hard to get the same amount of income that they used to, because the business model has changed and everyone's doing business online now in order to feel safe, right? So
Kester says that's me.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about your business, if you could, in the comments. The way I like to think about this is, what do you sell and who do you sell it to? Just like, just basic idea, I sell potato chips to teenagers, or whatever. Like, what do you sell basically, and what do you sell it to? And if you don't have a business, then yeah, what Joshua said earlier, let us know a little bit about your hopes, dreams, and aspirations for a business. What are you looking for, right? And if we can help you with that, we'll point you in the right direction. If we can't, we'll definitely let you know. So with that said, Joshua, I think we're ready to rock.
All right. So you want me to mute myself?
You can mute yourself if you want. You should probably shut your video off. And I'm going to open up the presentation here and share my screen. And as we start, I'm just going to go here. And so Joshua, I see that I can't see the comments anymore, but right before I started the screen up, I saw that there were a bunch of things coming in. Would you mind just letting me know what those say?
Sure. Carrie Smith says, no business yet. Hope to sell life coaching product within 3 years. Lovely to hear you again, Tellman. Gail would like to know the best business model for online business, and walks through to love says coaching services to women entrepreneurs. Awesome. Fitness training to ladies, Kester. Non-existent would like to start. So like, I guess like from ground zero and need some like from the ground up, some guidance. Designing and selling loudspeaker test chambers and loudspeaker design services.
Oh, I know this guy. We've heard from you a bunch of times. Dude, You can do this. We've talked a bunch of times before. What's that guy's name?
Jeff.
Jeff. Awesome. Yeah, Jeff. We should talk. Like we should totally do this. All right, go on.
Jennifer wants to bring peak performance training to the masses.
Great.
Have experience in the world of motorsports and did all of her psychological research with a RAF Red Arrows, with the RAF Red Arrows. Not sure what that means, but that's awesome. So that's a specialized set of knowledge and skills that you want to, yep, great. Suzanne says would like health options. Joan, affiliate marketing, great. Okay. And that's just a continuation. Greg says investment manager is his side business. Alex says I do a get clear on your life purpose workshops. Great. Intuitive women entrepreneurs who are coaches and healers. That's like we can talk a lot about that subject directly, frankly, Alex, because one of our students in 99 days is working with the same general direction. Dave says RAF, Royal Air Force. Thank you. Alex says, I want to create products based on my workshops that I can sell online. Well, yes, that is for darn sure. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff that's going on here. These are all great things.
Super. It sounds like we have a bunch of people who are doing something and who have something to say and have some people to help. So this is really great. So
the thing that I just before I mute myself out and stop interrupting you, the thing that's apparent to me is that a lot of people seems like they have clarity about what they're trying to accomplish, and also but they just don't have the game plan to transfer that into the online world successfully.
That's right.
So that's very exciting to see.
That's right. Very cool. Very cool. So actually, Joshua, there's one thing that I didn't tell you. We're going to have a little contest, and in a little bit, we're going to do a guessing game. And when we do the guessing game, one person is going to be guaranteed a 60-minute private marketing consultation with me to help flesh out their business plan individually. And so it's going to be whoever guesses the three things first. Okay.
Cool.
So if you can just keep an eye on the chat, and whoever gets that, just take note of their name so we can be sure that they get a slot on my calendar.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Okay, great. So, all right, guys. So here's what's going on. Joshua has been working online and helping people online since 1996. I've been online since 2003. Between us, we've helped literally hundreds of thousands of paying clients and customers in order to understand the basic principles that we're going to be sharing with you here today and start their online businesses based on their passions and dreams. So we found that there's one major stumbling block, one major problem that prevents people from building a really great online business that works. And the one problem is that people can't imagine what it would look like because it's intangible. It's invisible. We all know what a convenience store looks like. We all know what Walmart looks like. We know what a McDonald's looks like, or even a food cart. You can imagine what a hot dog cart would look like, or even if you're going to open up a massage therapy office. We can imagine what it would look like to open up an attorney's office or a chiropractic office. We can even imagine starting a car wash. But an internet business, if you've never built one, is largely intangible, invisible, hard to wrap your head around if you've never done it before, even if you're a seasoned entrepreneur or business owner. And so this training is meant to help you clarify the basic components, the basic pieces that you need to put into place in order to not only have an internet business plan, but in order to have an internet business plan that has a very high likelihood chance of success after you put those pieces together. And you're going to find out why that's so important in a minute. So this comes down to your piece of paper. So make sure you have your paper ready. And 8.5 is great. 8.5 by 11 is great. Something horizontal. But what you want to do is you want to do 2 lines on this paper. So you're separating it out into 3 columns. And I'm going to show you what this looks like here. Okay. That's what it looks like. Okay. Super simple, super easy. You can see how much of an astonishing artist I am. So I want you to draw this on your paper yourself right now. And this is the beginnings of your internet business plan. So get ready. So the idea here is we're going to share with you the principles to create a business that give you the absolute certainty of a high-paying job with the personal freedom of being an entrepreneur. And what we're talking about here is not creating a business that gives you a job, but creating a business that gives you the income, the stability, and the security of a high-paying job so you can do what you want to do when you want to do it from wherever in the world you want to do it as soon as travel restrictions are lifted and you can go wherever you want to in the world again. In the meantime, working from your computer, working from home, building a business that you really care about, that you're really passionate about, that actually means something that you can put your heart and soul into, and have the freedom and flexibility of living the life and the lifestyle that you want to without being tied down to a 9-to-5 or even something bigger if you're talking about a high salary type position. So the idea here is this is the step-by-step passion-based business plan that generates leads. It converts them into clients and customers, all while creating consistent, reliable, and predictable recurring income for you and your family. Okay. The idea of the internet business plan and what we're sharing with you here today gives you something truly extraordinary that I've never seen in all of my years online ever available in the online entrepreneurial community and the online marketing world. It's something completely different and exceptionally thorough. So this methodology is based in time-tested principles. It's going to allow you to launch your course or workshop, your brand, or your business online, whether it's a new business or an existing one. It's going to show you exactly what you need in order to attract an audience and gain influence with and credibility with that audience, to convert those people into red hot, ready to buy prospects who are interested and want to buy the products and services that you have to offer, whether they're yours or whether they're someone else's, so that you can generate automated sales and lifelong fans online automatically in a systematic and predictable way with everything that you do. And ultimately, this is all about creating your ultimate dream business. So in case we haven't met, that's me with a slightly shorter beard and slightly longer hair. My name is Telman Knudsen, and I'm a dad of 2 amazing kids. They are 9. My daughter is 9 and my son is 14. And he's like built exactly like me. So it's getting weird. He's like, it feels like I'm hanging out with myself sometimes when I'm hanging out with him now. I started over a dozen businesses, and the very first one I started when I was 19 years old in my dorm room. That was called Telman's Salsa, and it was like chips and salsa. Later on, I became a hypnotherapist and got very interested in the mind and peak performance. And I did that for several years locally and realized that my income was going to be severely capped. And I then ended up falling in love with direct response and email marketing. It ended up becoming known for my list building products and programs, became an email marketing trainer and teacher, and then ended up creating an entire body of marketing called fictional email marketing, where we create fictional characters, email mascots, entire fictional worlds that help companies to sell far more of their products and services. I'm a barefoot ultra marathoner. I started a nonprofit several years ago to raise money for homeless youth called Run Telman Run, and didn't quite complete, but attempted to run across the United States of America barefoot in order to raise money for homeless youth. And we raised several $100,000. It was pretty awesome. I'm also a total goofball and often make very weird jokes that only I find funny. So I apologize in advance for that. It just seems to be a natural skill that I have. So here's what you're going to discover today about your perfect internet business plan. Before I go into that though, Joshua, I just wanted to touch base with you and see if there was anything else that was important at this point that you need to call to my attention.
No, I think we're good. There's been a request for the PowerPoint presentation to see if that would be downloadable. And unfortunately, right now, that's not a feature that we have. And so I suggest to everybody just take real good notes and don't try to copy the exact bullet points of the slide. But if I could give you some advice, it would be to put it into vision for yourself. Like, how does this apply to you in your world as you start to think about it? Like, how does it make sense for you? So that
right.
would be my suggestion right now.
Awesome. And guys, by the way, the notes that you need are going to be this piece of paper with the 2 lines are going to be all you need. This is going to, the piece of paper is exponentially more valuable than this PowerPoint presentation. This PowerPoint presentation was rushed through, but the concept was I don't know, 4 decades in the making cumulatively. So I'd say focus on your paper. Don't focus on the PowerPoint. One thing that I do want to say is as we're going through this, I want you to ask questions, and I will definitely address every single question that is asked before this presentation is over. We are going to have a big Q&A at the end, but ask your questions as they come to you, type them up, and put them in the chat. And then as I'm going through, Joshua, if a question comes up that applies to a certain section, just chime in and let me know, and I'll address it right there. Otherwise, we'll be sure to hit everything before we wrap up here today. Okay.
You got it.
Awesome. So please ask questions, ask stupid questions. I'm a big fan of stupid questions. I mean, I know there is no stupid question, but what I'm saying is it doesn't matter if you feel your question is stupid. I want your questions because if nothing else, you're going to ask a question that everybody else is thinking, but doesn't have the guts to ask. So please ask questions as they come to your mind. And if you don't understand how these ideas or principles directly to apply to your situation or business, ask. And I will do my best to either say, hey, here's how they apply, or you know what, you're right, it totally doesn't apply to your situation, and I'll explain why. Okay. So you should have a piece of paper with 2 vertical lines on it, making 3 columns. Okay. Here's what you're going to discover about your perfect internet business plan today. The first thing is you're going to discover the puzzle pieces, the 3 key puzzle pieces you need to have in place to build. Now, that's what I call an incomplete sentence. I did notice this incomplete sentence where I was reviewing the slide deck before we got started, but I didn't have time to finish it. The pieces are the 3 key pieces, puzzle pieces you need to have in place to build the business of your dreams, to build the internet business of your dreams. So we're going to be going over those 3 key pieces in a moment. And by the way, there are 3 columns here. Do you think they might have anything to do with those 3 pieces? They might. They might. Number 2.
So far, no guesses as to what the 3 key pieces are. So
what really stops people from creating their dream business? Okay, what really stands in the way? What is the big thing that screws people up every single time, that blindsides them, smacks them in the head, drives them into the dirt so hard that they can never get back up again? We're going to share that with you here today. And number 3, I'd like to share with you a big breakthrough called the audience first approach. So is the incredible internet business plan for you? Great question. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. If you are a business owner and you want or desperately need to take your business from the offline world to the online world, whether it's due to the pandemic, whether it's due to your desire to travel, whether you want the freedom from being able to work from your laptop or tablet, or in many cases, even your phone, so you're not tied down to an office. There are a lot of reasons that people have to bring their business online. One of them that is becoming more clear to everyone is how much more scalable most internet businesses are than real world businesses. Take a yoga studio, for example. You have a live.
Tommen, can you explain? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can you explain to people just what you mean by scalable? Because I want to make sure that they understand
Yeah, I do.
the power there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'd like you to imagine that you have a yoga studio, and maybe you have a new yoga studio in New York City, and your yoga studio can easily accommodate for 30 students. And you even have a successful yoga studio in New York City, and maybe you have 3 or 4 classes a day in your yoga studio. And you have up to 30 students coming in at a time. They're paying you monthly fees. They're doing their yoga. Maybe you have dance stuff going on there, maybe other sorts of exercise. One way or the other, you got your yoga studio booked. And whenever it's there, it's usually sold out, and you're doing well. You have a business, it's cooking. But then like you're forced to go online. You're forced to go online right now because nobody's coming to your yoga studio anymore. Well, what yoga studio owners are finding is that they can have a lot more than 30 students at a time when they're online, and they have a global audience. You no longer have to be in New York City, and you can command the same prices without all the overhead. That's an example of much more scalable. You can serve a lot more people at a lot lower cost because of the power of the internet and the ability to go to a much wider audience, or much larger audience, I should say. So that's one really great reason to take that people often want to take their businesses online. If you're a coach or a consultant of any sort, all right, and you want to get leverage and stop trading your time for money. This also goes for any type of therapist, healer of any sort, where you sell your time by the hour, okay, for your expertise. Coaches, consultants, this would be absolutely true of herbalists as well as attorneys, right? You sell your time, and you really you realize that your income is capped at however much you can sell your time for right now, and you want to get more leverage so that you can make more money than your current time allots you to do. Okay. And if your income is unpredictable right now, and you desperately want to build an automated, systematized, passion-based internet business that you absolutely love, that brings in consistable. That would be a nice new SaaS, consistable. Anyway, consistent, predictable income for your business, for your life, and for your family. So if you want to have a clear step-by-step plan that you can follow in order to build your perfect business model with certainty, predictability, and financial security, then the Incredible Internet Business Plan should perk your interest. So if you want to build a passion-based, systematic, predictable business online, then this is definitely for you, right? If you're feeling stuck, if you are like a deer in the headlights because you're on information overload because you have so many options, and what you want is a clearly delineated and defined step-by-step solution, then this is for you. And if you're worried about your business because of the pandemic, this is for you, because you're about to discover how to build your existing or even a brand new business online with certainty and predictability. So why is this important to folks right now? It's more important than ever. This is the only time in history that everyone has walked away from traditional business and gone online in droves, far more than ever before. In the last 6 months, the entire world started buying online. It's no longer a question. Now it's an absolute. That doesn't mean they're never going to go back to, we're never going to go back to buying in real life. We are, but the world has changed. There's been a massive shift. Okay, a massive shift. We're doing a Zoom call right now, and Zoom has exploded as everyone is beginning to communicate globally instead of being limited to just locally. Because internet technology has taken such a massive leap forward in the past few years, it has never been easier and it has never been less expensive to build your online business. Things are so ridiculously simple now and so easy to learn, and customer support has become competitive. So the different services and technologies that you're going to use in order to build your business are easier to use and have better service than they ever have before. You can create an online business faster than it's ever been possible, and certainly faster, easier, and cheaper than any other type of business in the real world, right? In the physical world. And here's the thing. Everything that you've learned about traditional business strategy, as it turns out, is backward if you're building something that's focused on really creating leverage, consistency, reliably, and predictable recurring income for you, for your family, and for your business. If that's your goal, then you got to do things a little bit differently. And I'm going to share with you exactly how you're going to do that right now. So I want you to hang with me until the end, because we are about to outline your personal business plan. And I do not want you to miss out on this. This is going to give you enormous clarity and enormous certainty about what you're going to be building in the future. So my goal for you here today is the only way for you to build the business of your dreams is be able to see it and imagine exactly what it will look like. Okay. I want to give you the path that you need in order to have the confidence so you can finally get started and stop doubting yourself, because you're going to know the exact steps that you need to follow. Okay. So disclaimer and qualifications. This is not about getting rich quick, though you can generate a lot of money exceptionally fast once you learn the principles and skills behind what I'm sharing with you here right now. If you are a perpetual biz op junkie and you're only interested in learning more information and never taking action on it, if you are exclusively a biz op or make money online hobbyist, then you are going to be seriously dissatisfied with what you're about to learn, because it is a comprehensive approach, not a get rich quick Band-Aid type mentality. This is only for coaches, consultants, authors, influencers, business owners, and entrepreneurs. And if you have the right attitude and the right fire in the belly, as they say, it's for some up and coming or aspiring internet entrepreneurs. Results are not typical. I'm not making any like financial claims in this presentation at all. Results aren't typical. Like, you're going to have to work your butt off, and you're going to have to get uncomfortable and do some different things. And I don't know how hard you're willing to work. I don't know how smart you are. I don't know what your experience or background is. I don't even know what you're thinking about selling, right? So I can't make any financial guarantees to you, but what I can say is this methodology ultimately is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people to start their businesses online. And it's created millionaire after millionaire after millionaire after millionaire for the people who've really learned and embodied and utilized their principles over time. Fact, I failed miserably at 7 different businesses before I learned how to create a business plan like what you're about to learn. Okay. Then, and only then, did I build my first $1 million business from the plan that I created. And it was called List Crusade. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. So, what the heck happened? Did I lose something? Remember how I told you to bear with me? Bear with me. Joshua.
Yes, sir.
Let's do a little check-in. Guys, do you have any questions so far? Any questions so far? Bum, 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 bum.
And while Tellman gets, tech does happen. You're exactly right, Deanna. And that's part of the deal. You know, when you deal with, when you want to have an internet-based business, and this is part of the deal is getting through the stuff. The other thing that I would like to point out in the midst of what Tellman is demoing for you right here in live in real time is that you don't have to have perfection perfect first.
That's right.
you need to get into action and have a general direction, and know that you've got something valuable to share, and that you've got insight. But then you need to get into action and learn and do simultaneously.
That's right.
And that's vital. And I believe that Tillman's got that on his list of things to do, because that was what separated things for me personally when I was coming up in the mid 90s, and was the ability to learn and do, to be experiential at the same time, rather than learn everything and then attempt to do.
Exactly.
And so that's what I did for myself. And that's also what I ended up building all of my business development processes around, for me personally, as well as what I teached.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Awesome. Awesome. So, so check this out. So the next part that we're going to cover here today is called From Suckville to Awesome Town. And I want to thank Tim Irway for these terms, used with permission, of course. Suckville to Awesome Town. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And the first thing I want to do is say, welcome to Suckville. Welcome to Suckville. My life was Suckville for a long time. And once upon a time, I lived in Suckville. As a matter of fact, I had a business. And I was selling my time as a therapist, a hypnotherapist in particular. I got paid between $50 and $75 an hour. And the way I generated leads was by giving away free hypnosis sessions. And so that's why it was between $50 and $75 an hour on average when I was giving away a lot of sessions. But I was never able to actually make enough money to pay down all of my debts. Between credit card debt and college loan debt, I was 180 grand in debt. And I was also unable to save money and even get ahead. So I was working my butt off, but I could not make any headway. I was stuck on a financial hamster wheel, and I saw no way of escaping. I could not figure out, even though I was working more and technically making more money than any of my friends or people roughly my age, I realized I was going to have to be in my 50s before I actually paid off my debt. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. I've got to figure out a different way. Right. And I heard tale of Awesome Town. I heard that there was something better out there. I believed that there was a better way. I wanted to move to Awesome Town. But the problem is I could only imagine what it looked like. I didn't know any hypnotists or hypnotherapists or any therapists or whatever that was doing anything online with any success. I wanted to be able to break free from selling my time, right? I wanted to have a real business that would allow me to work from my laptop wherever I wanted to. At that time, I didn't have any kids yet. I wanted a business that didn't require me to work with clients exclusively all the time. And as I mentioned before, selling my time in order to make money. I had dreams of an automated internet business that would generate income for me without having me to work in the business all day, right? So that I could make money even when I wasn't working. That was the dream, right? I wanted a business that would generate predictable income that I could rely on, that would pay my bills and would pay my rent. I wanted a business that I could really, truly love, that I was passionate about, because I had tried a bunch of opportunities before and I didn't stick with them because they were just about making money and they had nothing to do with what I actually cared about. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation or not. Have you guys ever tried any MLMs or pyramid businesses, direct sales businesses, or other types of business opportunities just to make money, but you didn't really have any emotion invested and it didn't end up making you any money? Has anyone else experienced that? I mean, I tried selling Cutco knives door to door in college.
You hit a stride on that one. Almost everybody's like, "Oh yes, God, yes."
Tell me what you tried. Tell me what you tried that didn't work for you. And so like, I just didn't like, if I'm not, you might be different, but if I'm not, I'm an on or off guy, right? Like I'm either 100%, 110% in, or I'm not interested. And so it was really hard for me to go from opportunity, trying to get myself interested in something when money was the byproduct. But like, if I had to work at it every day, I wanted to be enjoying what I was doing, right? I tried drop shipping, all this stuff. It was dumb. So I wanted a business that generated predictable income. I already said that one. A passion-based business that I truly loved building and being part of, and genuinely help people have better lives. And I wanted a business that would allow me the freedom to work from anywhere in the world that I wanted to go.
Do you want me to give you some of the great answers that came flooding in?
Yeah. What do people have to say?
Well, by far, everybody seems to have some sort of network marketing in their or direct sales in their background, from different types of companies and different examples. But yeah, I mean, that's the bulk of what people have tried. Carmen did Kirby vacuums door to door, and let's see. Oh, a consultancy contract. Did a consultancy contract in a slaughterhouse. Jennifer did that.
That's intense.
Yeah.
All right. So these are some of the things that I hoped for, I was dreaming about, and I didn't know, I mean, it's what I wanted, but like, as far as everybody in my life was concerned, it was a pipe dream, right? So I was dreaming about Awesome Town, and they're like, why don't you get a job, Tillman? Right? So I had some challenges. I'm sure you have some challenges too. Maybe some of these are similar for you. I had no experience with an online business, right? I didn't know HTML. I wasn't a coder. I was good with my computer, but I wasn't like a super nerd with it, right? I didn't, and sorry, you guys might have a hard time seeing this. There are a lot of bullets on this slide. I had a lot of challenges. I didn't understand the technology that I needed in order to build an online business. I didn't understand what the pieces to the puzzle were there. I had no idea what I was going to sell or how I was going to sell it, right? I didn't know who I was going to sell my products or services to. I didn't have a clear plan of what to do or what order I needed to do it in. I wasn't confident in myself. And guys, if any of these are true of you, let me know what your challenges are. Like, let me know if anything that I say rings true for you. Like, let me know what it is. And if you have other challenges that you're facing, I'd like to know what the challenges are you see before yourself right now. I had no confidence in myself because I had failed at so many various business attempts previously. My girlfriend at the time, who later became my wife, did not believe in the internet or any of my crazy schemes to make money anymore. Okay, so I didn't have any family or
everybody's friends chiming in right now with all of the above. Yes, I'm dealing with all of these myself right now.
It sucks, right? It's hard. It's not easy, right?
They don't call it Suckville for nothing.
What's that?
They don't call it Suckville for nothing.
That's right. They don't call it Suckville for nothing. I didn't have a friend. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a teacher that I knew and trusted that had already done this kind of stuff, right? I mean, the internet was still pretty new, and I didn't know anyone on the inside. I legitimately had a computer that just barely worked. I had to like the front of it was a desktop, and the front of the thing was ripped off, and I had to shake and rattle the DVD drive just to get it to register that it was in there. And the fan was clogged with cat hair because we had 5 cats. It was a mess. I had a computer that just barely worked. I was working 8 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week in my hypnotherapy practice to pay the bills. So I didn't really have a lot of extra juice and free time. And I was renting an apartment with 3 other adult roommates. I shared a bedroom with my girlfriend that doubled as my internet business office. It was cramped and it was not ideal at all. Okay, so those are the challenges that I was up against. I had, as I said, tried a bunch of things that didn't work. I tried a few MLM opportunities, but couldn't manage to enroll any friends or family in them because I don't know. There are lots of reasons, because I just sucked at it. And I wasn't committed. I wasn't passionate about it. It didn't mean anything to me. I tried a few business in a box type opportunities, turnkey business opportunities, but quickly lost interest because they were ultimately just about making money and there was no reason for me to stick to it. Right. I tried putting up a sales letter to sell my hypnosis CDs. The first hypnosis CDs that I created were created with my buddy Kyle Battis that I grew up with. He became a personal trainer, and we teamed up and we created the 5 keys to permanent fat loss. And for the love of God, we could not sell anything from the sales letter. It was very, very, very frustrating. We tried our hardest, but it was also pretty dumb looking back on it. We had everything wrong, but like we were trying hard. So confession on the battle is, as my plan took a very unusual turn, and I actually ended up making my first $1 million, not by selling my hypnosis CDs at all, which was my intention, but I ended up making my first $1 million selling other people's products and services before I developed the skills to get good at selling my own. And this was a very interesting realization, and it ended up making me a ton of money and created enormous profit streams in my life and business to this day. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit more. So this is what I was working against. This is the challenge. I was working my tail off in my real business. For you, you might have a business, or it might be a job, right? Barely making enough money to get by. I couldn't even afford to buy a decent functioning computer. As I mentioned earlier, I was 180 grand in debt, and I had absolutely no idea how I was going to get out. Have you ever felt like this? Have you ever found yourself in this type of situation? Then we discovered we were pregnant. We were going to have our first child. Shit. Just got real, right? It was a crisis moment. You may be having your own crisis moment. Maybe it involves a child or something completely different. But for me, it was a crisis moment. It was one of those do or die situations where things were changing in my life, whether I liked it or not. And I had to do something about it, no matter what. My girlfriend was managing a coffee shop. So she wasn't making minimum wage, but not that much better. And we had a few $100s in savings between us total. And we were about to have our first baby. So this woke me up, and I knew there had to be a better way than trading my time for money in a job or a business. And I discovered direct response and email marketing. And what happened is I found a mentor, and I found a system that I could really dedicate myself to following. And my mentor happened to be Joshua Shafran, my incredible business partner and my co-host on the call here today, who if you were on at the beginning, you saw him, and he's been the etheric voice from the background, chiming in every now and again. Actually, Joshua, would you turn yourself back on? That came out wrong. Would you? Oh,
God. Oh, man, Talvin. Well, you said it. Like you say things that only you find funny, but
that's right.
What do you want me to talk about?
Yeah, well,
Just
so everybody,
hi.
This is Joshua. If you weren't on at the very beginning of the call, Joshua Shafran changed my life. His process completely laid the foundation of multiple multi-million-dollar businesses that I created as a direct result of what I've learned from this man. So thank you, Joshua, for being so awesome. Thank you for creating a system and a process that actually works. First of all, like, pretty important, really, really, really good. So at the right time in my life, I found a mentor or teacher that I truly believed could help me, and who had a process that seemed like it would give me the things that I was looking for. I invested money that I didn't have by borrowing money for my marketing and my entrepreneurial education. And I made an absolute commitment to follow a very specific system and keep working on it and keep building it until it worked, no matter what. I made that commitment inside myself, and I made that commitment to the group of students that I was working with. And I committed every waking minute that I could possibly muster into creating the business of my dreams so that I could have the life that I wanted for me and my family. That's where I was at. And that was the level of commitment that I had to make to myself in order to make this work. And what happened was I launched my new online business in less than 90 days. And I started building a following, an audience, and an email list immediately. I very quickly grew my business to $10,000 a month selling products that weren't even mine. And over the course of the next year or so, I scaled that business to over $1 million in sales, still selling mostly other people's products and services.
Can I point something out here, Tommen?
Yeah, jump back in.
This is the good news, bad news situation of an online business model, right? Like it's so much easier to go from 10,000 once you've got that momentum to, hundreds of thousands, if not 7, 8 figures beyond that, because it's just about setting the foundation and doing more of what you already did. And provided, of course, that you build it the right way from the beginning. The hard part is going from 0 to, even just $3,000, $5,000 a month and then $10,000 a month, because it's the same amount of work, if not more work, to get to that point. But then once you get it going, it can continue on with, provided, of course, that you follow the right game plan that is built on, turning it into business assets rather than, just like transactional, one and done type events like campaigns and specific things that burn out fast.
That's right. And I was using both. I was using, automated system that generated sales in a systematic, predictable way, day in and day out. And I was doing individual live campaigns. And back in the day, it was with teleseminars before webinars even existed, that were live events, so that we could have large paydays as well as having the consistent income coming in. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. And what kind of products were they? They were mostly information products, some physical products, but very few. There were some like physical printed home study courses, which are really still information products. Sometimes seats to seminars and events. They were in a combination of the personal development, self-improvement world and the internet marketing, email marketing, list building training world. It was a combination of both. Remember when we talked about two sides of the coin, one side's mindset, one side's marketing? That was kind of the idea behind what I was doing. So what happened next was I ended up building business after business after business after business in the years since then, in almost every single one of my personal areas of interest and hobby. I love obsessing about stuff, and every few years I get really, really, really intensely obsessed with a new thing. And I like spending all my time, effort, energy, and money on it. And I realized, wow, I can just build a new business around this. And so I've done that several times with a great deal of success. And some, of course, have worked better than others, and some have lasted longer than others. But it's great for me if you have a hobby or a personal interest. There's a very good chance that you can turn it, or that if I have a hobby or a personal interest, there's a very good chance that I can turn it into a predictable, profitable, recurring income stream for my life and my business. And I found that students of this process can do that as well. So it's created a sense of complete personal freedom for me that I never had before, knowing that I can spin up one of these business models because I know exactly how it's going to look. And you're about to see that for yourself. So I'd like you to consider how it will feel when you have an online business that you're in love with, genuinely, that you love to work on and you love to be part of, that you can own, that you can operate from anywhere in the world, from your computer, that generates predictable, reliable, and recurring income that you can count on. Like, seriously, how would that change your life? Think about how that would stabilize your emotional state and the emotional state of your family or your spouse or your partner or your future family, spouse, or partner, right? And it's a really big deal. What's up, Joshua?
I just was wondering if I could chime in just for a second again.
Please.
I would recommend that you really take this question seriously, because it's so easy for us, particularly in the beginning, to stay in that fear mode. And we can definitely imagine what it's like to feel like to try and to get kicked down again and to quote unquote fail. But try this on for size. Like, imagine the business that you're thinking about right now and imagine it's outrageously successful, like 100 times more successful than you could even imagine it right now. Would you enjoy running that business? Would that get you going in the morning? Would that, would you be raring to get at it? And is that the kind of business that you want? Because that's equally as important. When Tillman talks about a passion-based business, it isn't necessarily just like, do what you love and the money will come. Sometimes, you got to find what you don't like to figure out what you do like, and then you fall in love with it as you go. But if you build a business that is like enhanced more, and you can't imagine like doing more of it and enjoying it, then you don't want to make that bigger and more, right? You don't want to automate that. You want to, so really give some careful thought to what Tillman's saying.
I fully agree. You want to be jacked to continue to work on and grow the business. You don't want to have it feel like a burden, right? It's one of the biggest pieces. So just consider what that would, because that one shift makes it worth building. It makes it worth doing whatever it takes to make that happen, which gets you up early in the morning and which causes you to work on it late at night. This is the kind of stuff, when you're building your dream business, is the kind of thing that you start having beautiful, wonderful, inspirational, motivational dreams about, literal dreams about your business. And you wake up inspired to work on it in the morning. Think about that. How big of a change would that make? So, okay, here we go. So the transformation. When I realized that I had been focused on the wrong areas of my business for my first 7 businesses, that's when my business was finally able to actually start growing. So let's turn the traditional business plan on its ear. I know there's a long build up for the business plan to give you something you can actually use to get clarity and confidence about what you're about to start building. Okay. So this is your incredible business plan. So if you've ever struggled with wanting to have a successful online business, but you've been stuck and overwhelmed and easily distracted by all of the options that are out there, I completely know how you feel. Because this is the three pieces, okay? The 3 puzzle pieces that you need to have in place to build the business of your dreams. That's number 1. Number 2 is the thing that really stops people from creating their dream business. And number 3 is the audience first approach. So secret number 1 is the puzzle pieces. Secret number 1 is the puzzle pieces. I want you to write these down. Now, in my first 7 businesses.
By the way, Tillman, we've got 2 people that are so darn close that I'm going to give it to both of them, Alex, and let me scroll back up. I believe it was, let me just find it real quick so that we keep a record of it. Jennifer.
Okay, so Alex and Jennifer, what I need you to do is I need you to send a private message to Joshua with your email and your cell phone number. Hopefully you can see Joshua's. Don't send it to everyone. Make sure you just select the hosts, or Joshua if you can. If you can just select the hosts, that's fine. But give us your name is there. We already have, but your email address and phone number so we can get you scheduled for a private consult. Congratulations on nailing it right out of the gate. So in my first 7 businesses, and again, these are the ones that failed, I did what most people do. I didn't realize I was doing it at the time, but I did. And before I tell you what that is, pop quiz, right? This is what we talked about earlier. Let's see if we can name the 3 most important or critical pieces to a successful internet business. Type your best guesses into the chat. Now, I guess we already had our winner, but if you're the first person to guess all 3, I'll guarantee you a 60-minute private marketing strategy call with me to help supercharge your business idea and business plan. Okay. Even though we've already picked our winner, please do your best to guess. Anyway, I want to see what you guys come up with.
And also, let me just say, Tillman, that we're picking 2 winners, and they didn't have it exactly the way that I would say it, or that you would say it, but it's so darn close that I got to give it to both of them.
All right. Fair enough. So, awesome. So Wax says Actually, Wax says traffic, product, and game plan. Deanna says audience, action, and product, quality product. Harold says begin with vision in mind and who you're selling to. Carrie says clients, marketing, product. Ronald, not Roland, says traffic, leads, and sales. Harold says makes it easier for them to buy. Carmen says lead, sales, and automation. And they're continuing to come in. So I want to point out that Custer says traffic, traffic, traffic. Good one, good one, good one. You guys all have at least one of them. Most of you have two of them, and some of you have all three. So I'm glad that my presentation is doing its job. So that's really nice to see. So step one that most people, this is the common sense or the traditional way that people usually think about how to approach business. And the reason is because they're not necessarily thinking it through. We're just doing what makes sense. And the most common thing that business owners of any type go to first is, I need something to sell, right? Step one, what to sell, which product or service to sell. And so where the heck did my marker go? Here it is. So remember your business plan. Piece number one goes right here on the left, and that's product or service. It's what to sell. Product or service. Okay, what to sell. All right. Product or service, what to sell. And if you already have products or services to sell that you know you want to sell, you can write those down in this column right now. Okay. Any ideas that you already have, maybe anything you already sell in your existing business, product or service. What are you going to sell? Write those down. It could be a brainstorm. And if you have no idea, that's okay. You can put a question mark there. But if you have some ideas, definitely definitely write those down. So first thing that most people go straight to, because if you don't have anything to sell, you don't really have a business, do you? It's true, right? So it makes sense why most people go to that as their first thing that you need. Number two, the second piece to the puzzle, and we're going to put this in the central column here, is how to sell it, AKA the technology, right? So technology, how to sell it. Okay. Technology, how to sell it. And this means things like the sales platform that you're going to use. Are you going to use ClickFunnels? Are you going to use Groove Pages? Are you going to use Shopify? Are you going to use Lead Pages? Are you going to use Teachable? Are you going to use Samcart? Are you going to use, there's thousands of ways to sell stuff. Gumroad, ClickBank, JVZoo. There's no limit. There's so many different platforms and ways and types of technology, not to mention your autoresponders, like all this stuff and your tracking software. There's a lot of different technology options, more now than ever, to get overwhelmed by. But for a lot of people, after they decide what they're going to sell, they'll go and they'll spend tens of thousands of dollars on like high-end e-com setup, hire a developer and get their store just right in order to get this moving. And I'm just going to check the chat here. And boom. All right, great. And then so how to sell it, right? This is the second major piece that you need to have in place. And once people build their online store, in most cases, then they begin to realize, oh, how am I going to get people to my store? How am I going to get people to my website in order to buy my stuff? Who? So the third one is your audience. Who am I going to sell it to? Who? And this is where you asked the question, and I saw someone wrote this into the chat, and they said, I don't know who my perfect customers are. This is your audience. It is your traffic sources. It is your niche. It is your market. It is your vertical. It is your industry. It is your email list. It is your social media. It's all of the things that make up the people that you're going to sell to. This is your tribe. This is your audience, right? Or for those of you that are more experienced marketers, this is your list, right? Where is your traffic going to come from, and who's going to be on your email list, right? For those of you who are a little bit more experienced. So that's the third piece, okay? And this is the standard, the key things that people list. So the first column, you're going to write down your products that you're already selling, or your services that you already know how to sell, or you think you're going to sell. The second column is your technology, and you could write down all the different technology options that you're thinking about right now, that you might use in the different platforms that you're paying for or thinking about investing in. Just write those down in the second column, right? That's the technology column, the how you're going to sell it. And then the third column here is the audience, and that's the who. And so you may be clear on like some of the different traffic sources that you're going to use. Maybe you're a YouTuber, or maybe you're a Twitter, a big following on Twitter, or maybe you have a big following on LinkedIn, or maybe you're really good at doing Facebook ads, or maybe you're really good at doing Facebook Lives, or maybe you're a blogger, or maybe you're a podcaster. You want to think about your traffic sources as well as your niche and your market. Like what is the name of your audience? What are they called? And you may not have answers to all of these questions. That's why we're asking the questions, so you can begin thinking about them and begin filling these in to the best of your ability, right? And again, as we go, if you have questions about any of these areas, I want you to ask that in the chat, or if I'm losing you and you need further clarification, or I need to explain something again, please ask me to, and I will happily do so. All right. So here's the thing. Once you have your basic business plan figured out, you have the three pieces in place. This is why most small businesses and most internet businesses fail very, very quickly, is they are the right pieces. Okay, they are the right pieces. And if you focus on them in this order that I just outlined for you, which is the order that almost everyone focuses on them, you are almost guaranteed to fail unless you just have extraordinary luck working in your favor. Okay, so here's why. I talk with business owners all...
Wait. Don't just gloss past that. I really want people to make sure that they really internalize what you just said, Telman.
Okay.
It's so important, because if you don't focus in the right order, it's like baking a cake or baking a recipe. You could have all the ingredients perfect. You could have the best ingredients in the world. You could buy and you can have them in the right quantities, and you eat it before you bake it. It ain't going to come out right.
That's right. Hey, Carrie, piece number 2 is technology. Okay, that's piece number 2. It's the how are you going to sell it? What's the technology that you're going to use to sell it, right? In the real world, that would be where are you going to set up your store, right? What's the storefront that you're going to rent out, and what's all the stuff that you need to set the store up? Really, that's what we're talking about. How, and how, like, what's the mechanism? What's the process that you're gonna sell stuff? So that's the technology. So I talk to business owners all the time, and these are smart people. These are intelligent people who have not yet examined, who haven't examined what we're examining here today. Okay. I spoke with a new CBD company, okay, being started by someone that I've known for a very long time, very intelligent, very successful career, a guy with a very successful career, went to college for it, has been very successful for many years, and starting a new company selling CBD related products. And they absolutely have focused all of their attention on the product, on creating a really, really, really amazing product first, and have spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars developing the perfect product. But they don't know how to sell it, and they don't know who they're selling it to, and they're stuck, right? To use Joshua's term, it's like setting up a billboard in the desert. Like, nobody's going to see it, right? I spoke with another person who owns a music company and business. And they're a long-standing successful music business. They sell musical instruments and they teach music, and they are trying to desperately to build online. And they did the same thing. They focused all of their attention on the products first, and then the technology, and then they realized, crap, how are we even going to find people who care? And they're stuck. They don't know what to do. And this is why. This is wrong sequence, wrong order. Don't fall into this trap, ladies and gentlemen. It's so easy, and it's not your fault. So it's what we were taught. And it's what makes sense, common sense, until you realize it doesn't make sense, because that's why most businesses fail, is because they're doing this in the wrong order. So the traditional way is product first, technology second, audience third. Product first, technology second, audience third. The new way that virtually guarantees success is audience first, product second, technology third. Audience first, product second, technology third. So what I want you to do is I want you to take this, and I want you to either take a new piece of paper or turn it over and do another 3 lines. And in the first one, type array audience. And in the second one, 3 columns, 2 lines. In the second column, do product. And in the third column, do technology. Okay. First one is the right order to really do this the right way. And I'll explain why. Is audience first, product second, technology third. What do you got, Joshua?
You know, in looking at this, here's something that I think you all can probably identify with. It's so easy to get overwhelmed with the technology, with all the different things that you got to keep track of. And this one's the latest, greatest thing, and this one here and that. And how do you make use of this? And, oh, you know, this is yesterday's news and tomorrow, you know, and everything. And if you'll do it in this way, besides it being the 0 factor, if you don't do it in this way, meaning like if you're going to multiply something by 0, then your results end up being 0. But think about it, like your audience drives the design and the product. Then once you know that and the product, then go and start to support the technology that makes the most sense, that, you know, in conjunction with it. You know, the technology comes last because it needs to. It needs to come and be designed based on the first 2. And that's going to make your overwhelm and the complexity to a minimum, because you're now narrowing in on what you need given your circumstances. It's not that it's something's right or wrong or works or doesn't work, or there's one best way to do it. No, but for you and for your product, for your audience, for where you're heading with it, then choose the technology that's going to support that, and focus in on the minimal viable aspects of it. That's instead of trying to do the complete thing perfectly from Jump Street, because it's never going to be perfect from Jump Street.
Nope, never once. So audience first, and I'm going to explain a lot more about this, guys. So get ready. Audience first, product second, and product or service, right? And technology third. And again, if you have questions about how to do this, or thoughts or confusion or whatever, ask questions in the chat, please, by all means. So I want to share with you, has anyone ever heard of the late, great, possibly, well, certainly, I would suggest the greatest copywriter I ever met, Gary Halbert? Joshua, I know that you've been highly influenced by Gary, and the next slide is as a direct result of you focusing on it recently in some of our live streams. Who is familiar with Gary Halbert? Say yes or no. I'm curious who's heard of him before.
Yes. Yeah. Legendary. Absolutely.
All right. So Gary Halbert is, he's no longer living. I met him a couple of times, and he was one of the greatest copywriters throughout his life to ever exist. And Gary Halbert often asks his students, or asked in the past, if you and I both owned a hamburger stand and we were in a contest to see who would sell the most hamburgers what advantages would you most like to
What
have?
single advantage, actually? Like, what's the only advantage that, you know, if you could only have one, what would you pick?
What would you want on your side? So I'm going to ask you guys, everybody type it in. And if you can, type it in so everybody can see it. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can only type it in so we can see it. I'm not sure how the settings are on this.
Well, I'll read them out. Jeff, hungry customers, walks, hungry customers, location, price, question mark, customers, location. And they're still coming in.
Awesome. All very good attempts at answering this question. Almost there, right?
Yep.
So the answers vary. And this is a quote that I pulled from one of the Gary Halbert letters. The answers vary. Some people say that that they would like to have the advantage of having superior meat from which to make their hamburgers, right? Better product. Others say that they want sesame seed buns. Others, like you guys, mention location, right? Some usually want to be able to offer the lowest prices and so on. Anyway, after my students are finished telling me the advantages they would most like to have, I say to them, okay, I'll give you every single advantage you asked for. I myself only want one advantage. And if you will give it to me, I will whip the pants off all of you when it comes to selling burgers. What advantage do you want? They would ask. The only advantage I want, I reply, is a starving crowd. A starving crowd. And this is why you and your business must absolutely be focused on your audience first before you choose your products or services, and before you choose the technology that you're going to use to sell your products and services. Make sense? Makes sense? If you guys have questions about this, let me know. And if it makes sense, let me know that too. This is the most critical thing that almost everyone gets wrong, and it is the reason that most businesses fail. Period. And if you're able to implement a process that uses this to your advantage, it is the reason your business will succeed. What do you guys have to say? Perfect sense, says Custer. Yeah, do you guys get this? Does this make sense? I'm going to assume, I'm glad it makes sense for Custer. Hopefully it makes sense in more than just Custer. All right.
I think everybody's with you, man.
Great. So again,
absolutely perfect sense. Yeah.
First is audience. Second, products or services. Third, sales and marketing technology. Okay. So now I want to talk about secret number 2. Okay. Secret number 2 is that you were lied to in school. Okay. Most of you probably went to school, and I like to call this how public school killed the entrepreneur inside you. Okay. How public school killed the entrepreneur inside you. It, like, public school in particular forces everyone into these little linear thinking boxes that children then spend the rest of their lives acting out and never realizing how much more is out there waiting for them. So step number 1 is, in school, right? You memorize stuff, and then you take a test, and then you get graded on the test. And if you get bad grades, like, your friends think you're dumb and your parents yell at you. Okay. And then you're good at the areas that you're good at, and you're naturally bad in the areas that you're bad at, and you just kind of have to live with it. Right. And then once you go out into the real world, you don't actually have any skills that you can actually do in order to actually improve your life. So you're stuck and you have to start over. This is why you're getting killed as an entrepreneur, because you're trying to get it right. You're trying to get the test right. You're trying to memorize the information, and you're trying to get the approval of your mentor or teacher. But that's never going to make
so true.
Right?
And walks through love, says, and still does. Deanna wants to know what secret number 1 was again. She didn't write it down.
Secret number one was the 3 puzzle pieces, which I spent the entire webinar on. So I'm sorry you didn't write it down, Deanna, but it was all 3 of those puzzle pieces that we spent the last hour and a half on.
It was the order.
Yeah, it's the sequence, and it was the audience, right? First, the products or services second, and the technology third, and doing them in that order, in that sequence, right? It is the business plan that you're outlining right now. That was secret number one.
Cool. She just didn't remember the order stuff.
Cool. So number 2 is that school really probably screwed up your thinking as an entrepreneur. So the way to deal with this is step 1 is learn about a new skill that you want to get good at in order to make more money and or start your business. So step 1 is learn about a new skill. Okay. And this is the better way to do it, right? Rather than following the traditional school model where you learn a bunch of stuff and then you take a quiz or a test and you try to get the answers right. And if you get 100%, you feel good about yourself. And if you get anything less than that, you feel bad about yourself. And then you go on to the next subject. Okay. That's not what we're talking about doing here. What we're talking about is step 1, let's focus on actually developing a skill that you can use to get better and better and better at for the rest of your life to make more and more and more money in your business. So you identify a new skill that you want to learn that will make you more money in your business. Number 2 is you practice that new marketing or business skill as you are learning it. To use the Karate Kid reference, wax on, wax off. There's going to be a lot of wax on, wax off going on in your life if you are learning skills and actively practicing them in your business if you want to get good at making money long-term as an entrepreneur. So step 2 is practice the skill. And step 3 is the more you practice, the better you get. And the better you get, the more money you make. Okay? That's it. It's skill-based learning. Okay? Learn by doing. Now, one of the things about perfection, does anyone suffer from perfectionism? Has anyone here ever suffered from perfectionism or paralysis analysis or wanting to get everything right before you get it going because you don't want to look like a dumbass? You don't want to look like a doofus. You're afraid of getting embarrassed. You don't want to fail. So
yeah,
Carmen,
you struck a nerve on that one.
Carmen, perfectionism. Alex, perfectionism. Gail, perfectionism. Harold, as opposed to go early and ugly. Exactly. Jeff, yes. Jennifer, yes. Deanna, analysis paralysis. Okay, this is messing you guys up. Okay, so here's a question that I have. And this is a serious question. Are you committed to holding on to your perfectionism, or are you willing to let it go so you can be successful? And I want to know a real answer to that from each and every one of you that just said you were a perfectionist. Are you willing to let it go, or are you going to keep holding on to that? I want to know what you guys have to say, because this is a really big deal. It makes a huge difference, and I want to know where you're at. Yeah, Carmen said failed to launch because everything isn't perfect. Harold says he's willing to let it go. Carmen is kicking it to the curb. Walks is tired of the treadmill, ready to let it go. Alex is willing to let it go. Jeff is willing to let it go. Rick is willing to try something new. Gail is willing to let it go. Carrie is going to try to let it go. There is no try, Carrie. There's no try. Jennifer is officially divorced from perfectionism and is now married to someone else.
That it is now married to somebody else. That's what I was laughing about.
That's right. And Deanna is dumping it. Good.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling you that you have to dump perfectionism, but I can tell you that if you're going to use this model, you're going to have to let it go. And it's not going to be easy. All right.
May I chime in, Telman?
Please.
Here's the fallacy of perfectionism or trying to figure it out, is that And the only reason I can share this is because that was me for many years. And when I'm not at my best and focused properly, it still is me at times.
That's right.
But there's a gap between knowing what to do and actually successfully being able to implement it in your life and get the results that you want to get. There's a gap. So if you go through the learning curve to learn everything, and then you try to go through the gap to then apply it, you're never going to get it done. And it's never going to be perfect, because the very act of learning and developing that skill is going through the conscious incompetence to conscious competence to unconscious competence. And the problem is that if you get stuck in that professional student mode, where you trick yourself, well, I got to figure this out, and one day there's one missing key. Yeah, the missing key is you got to, as you pray, move your feet. You got to move forward and learn and do simultaneously, because you're going to have to do that anyway, because there's still going to be a learning a gap. There's still going to be a gap between knowing what to do. And so you might as well get the overall big picture clarity, like Telman's telling you here and giving to you, and then get in the game and start to iterate your way to success, because you're going to have to do it anyway. And
That's
it's
right.
going to feel uncomfortable anyway. And you're going to have to, deal with it. So that's what I have to say about that.
On that note, I do want to say that I encourage my clients and students to, and as do you, Joshua, to genuinely try stuff and fail to see what does and doesn't work, right? We're not there to smile and laugh at you when you fail. We're there to compliment you and commend you on trying, because most people are so scared to fail that they don't try. And so when we choose the clients that we're working with, we make it really clear that that's the kind of environment that we're helping to foster and to create, where we want people to experiment. We want people to try and to learn by doing. It's just like when you learn how to ride a bike. You get up on that bike, you push yourself a little forward, you fall off, you scrape your knees up a little bit, you get back up on the bike and you try it again, you try it again, and you try it again, and try it again. And eventually, boom, you're good. And it's okay to fall off the bike a few times while you're learning how to ride.
Two things, Telman, that I just wanted. You said the analogy of learning to ride a bike. There's a great book called "Nobody Ever Learned to Ride a Bike in a Seminar."
That's
or
right.
From a seminar. It's the same concept. That's number one. Number two is Carmen talks about conscious competence, and I just want to point out that that's an easy place to get stuck. You want to get to conscious competence, where you now know that you can do something proficiently, but the temptation is to stop there. You haven't got the skill if you stop at conscious competence, because your head's always in, all right, what do I got to do? What am I forgetting? What's this? What's that? And you haven't fully bridged that learning gap. So, go all the way past the conscious competence to unconscious competence, where you no longer have to think about it. You just ride that bike.
Let me tell you where that comes from. A crap load of practice. That's where that comes from, is doing it a million times. That's one of the reasons that I encourage my students to email their list every day, to create videos every day, to every single day be out there doing the things to grow their business, so that they can sharpen the sword, so they can improve their skills. All right. So learn by doing. Perfectionists keep themselves stuck. We all have a certain degree of perfectionism, and we can all get better at letting that go and focus on taking action. So would you rather have a business that is imperfect, that is making you $10,000 a month in the first few months, or a perfect business where you look and you sound absolutely great and you never come across as a doofus at all, that you've been working on for 6 years and still hasn't made you a dime? What do you guys think? Which one would you prefer? Which one would you prefer? The business that's making some money and that you got going, or the one that isn't making you a dime and you've been working on for years, waiting for the perfect moment to get started? All right. Everybody wants a business that's actually making some money. So good. So this is all about letting go of perfectionism and really embracing the learn by doing experience. So when you practice the core skills of being an internet business owner or an entrepreneur or a marketer, your ability to create new business models and come up with new income streams improves over with each and every new one you create. You get better and better and better, right? Your skill sets improve. So don't learn how to do it and then do it right. Instead, do as you learn and course correct as you go to develop the skills and build your business at the very same time. This is the key to making this work. And every single successful internet entrepreneur that I know has adopted and utilized these principles, concepts, and ideas in order to achieve success. Okay. Secret number three. Secret number three. This is what we've been building up to this entire training, which is the audience first approach. This is the big deal. Okay. When you focus on and build your audience first, again, this is your finding your traffic sources, you're deciding on your niche or market, or what we call the oholic factor. You're building your email list, right? You're building your own marketing platform. You're building your audience. When you focus on that, and more importantly, your direct and personal connection, trust, rapport with the people that you are serving, when you're focused on the people that are going to be paying your bills for the next decade, step one, you start with a starving crowd. Thank you, Gary Halbert. You start with a starving crowd. Okay? Step two, you enter a conversation with them and you ask them what they need help with, what they're struggling with, and what they're passionate about. You discover what products, and you don't decide, you discover what products and services they are actively spending their time and their money on. And you can see exactly what types of marketing strategies, as well as the specific types of technology platforms that they like to interact with when making purchases online, because you've created this audience, you've found the audience, you're engaging with the audience, and you're paying attention to what they're doing because you're part of them. You're one of them. There's no more guessing and hoping for the best. No more wondering where the heck your customers and your clients are going to come from, because the difference here is between spending tens of thousands of dollars putting together your e-com store, for example, and then trying to figure out how to drive traffic to that site and wondering why the heck nobody's buying anything and not having any idea what to do about it, versus asking your audience what they're interested in from seeing from you next, building up anticipation for it to be released, launching it to your audience who's already on the edge of their seat waiting for it to be released, and selling out and having a major payday while creating an automated, recurring, ever-increasing stream of new subscribers, of new customers, and new clients into your business. Why? Because you built it that way. That's why. Because you said so, and you decided to build a business model that would work that way from the beginning. Okay? So you can build your audience first, and they will absolutely love you for it. Now, I want to make a point. Every single person on this training right now, as I'm doing it live, came from one place. Do you guys want to know where you came from? You were all on my email list first. I sent you some emails about this training, and you came to it because I built the audience first. Does that make sense? So you got to experience this firsthand as the audience. You've probably been on my list for years, right? Audience first, audience first. And you can generate revenue or income as you build your audience. It's not a situation where you have to build it and you can't make any money while you're at it. But the first step is building the audience. So can you see yourself using your internet business model to build your audience, your products and services, and choose your technology? Can you see yourself using your internet business model to learn and practice the skills that you need to succeed with the learn by doing approach? And to take the audience first approach to creating a business that grows without all the guesswork on your part? Can you see yourself using your internet business model to do this? Does this seem like a reality for you now at this point in the presentation? please let me know yes
A
or
bunch
no.
of yeses.
And if not, tell me why not. Tell me where you're getting hung up on this, because I do want to know. If it's yes, then that's awesome. But if it's not, I totally want to hear about that too. So it seems like we're getting a lot of yeses.
Yeah, we're getting a flood.
Okay, good.
Totally. Yes. Makes sense. Yes. Heck yes.
Okay, awesome. So, all right.
Jeff says I
got the
cannot
message
see it.
through, Joshua. People are getting it. This is really good.
Except for Jeff.
Except for Jeff.
Jeff says I cannot see it. I don't know what you can't see. Can you be more specific?
Yeah. Let us know where you're getting stuck, Jeff.
Yeah, please.
So,
and then we can address it.
You might be asking yourself, what do I do now? So, information alone. So, I know we're not really in front of each other, but if you got value out of today's presentation so far, like just write value in all caps or something like that so that we know. And for the last, I don't know, it's been more than 90 minutes.
Value. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Jeff says how to go to the next step. So you're saying, how do you implement this? Is that what you're saying? Like, how do you make this a reality in your life?
Gotcha. So, yes, we've shared a ton of information with you here today, and it sounds like delivered a few pretty significant aha moments for a lot of you guys, which was what I was aiming at. But as you know, information alone is not going to get you to Awesome Town. You've probably been on webinars before where you felt pretty good and you're like, whoa, this is a breakthrough. This is awesome. So that's why I'm going to share with you how you can get not just my help, but our help. Is that okay with you? Please let us know if it's okay with you, if I can share with you how you can get our help.
Yes, totally. Yes. Okay,
awesome. Great. Cool. So do you think you could do this if you had a proven step-by-step system that took you through the entire process, soup to nuts, from figuring out who your audience is, discovering your traffic source or traffic sources for your audience, choosing the right technology, getting it in place, so when the traffic comes to your website, they join your email list, setting up an email list that automatically starts selling the types of products and services that they're interested to them in the background on autopilot while you're focused on growing your business instead of working in your business, all the way on through. Does this make sense? So, do you think that I want to answer in the chat. Do you think that you could do this if you had our personal help each and every week as you went through the process to customize and work through each of the steps in setting this thing up? Do you think that you could do it? And do you think that we could help you to take the necessary actions to make that happen in clarity, to customize it for you and really start building the business you want to do? Is that something that makes sense to you? Could you do it? Okay. Part 4, the answer. The answer is called...
I want to say an answer. Okay. Like, I don't want this to appear like this is the one size fits all, the answer. It absolutely is, this is the only way to do it. It is not. It is an answer, and it works extremely well and like that. But I don't want to, I don't want people to think that this is a, like one of those one size fits all deals that, this is going to, fix everything. Because the reality,
it's not going to fix everything. It does have a lot of holy grail like characteristics, however. So it's the best answer that I know how to give you, right? I can tell you, and there are other ways. There are other ways, and there are a ton of really great folks that are out there. But the question is it answering your questions? Is it helping you with what you need, right? So an answer, the answer, perhaps it's the answer for you. You're the only person that can make up your mind on that, right? This is the NPOD system, stands for Net Profits on Demand. And this is Joshua's brainchild and my honor to be able to be part of bringing and sharing with you here today. It is specifically designed to help you build your audience automatically in a systematic way every single day. And when I say build your audience, I mean build your list. For email marketers who are out there, and if you've done this before and you understand the value and the importance of building your list, translate this into build your list, okay? It's going to simplify the technology for you so that you don't have to sift and sort through thousands of other options yourself. Now, the NPOD system is not the technology, but we are going to share with you the best, easiest, and least expensive, but most highly reliable technology solutions that all work together that you can use right now in order to build this and to build it in an amazing way. Okay, these are easy to use pieces of technology that all work seamlessly together so that you don't have to like spend the rest of your life making decisions on which technology pieces you want to go with. A lot of people get stuck just at the technology overwhelm alone. That really like stops a lot of people in their tracks. And so if you're one of those people, this is going to really help you move past that stumbling block. You're going to discover, like a detective, the perfect products and services to sell to your audience because you're actually going to have a relationship and connection with them. And they'll be sharing with you the types of things that they want to buy. And you're going to be observing the types of products and services that they want to buy. It's going to systematically and predictably create recurring monthly income and sales for you and your business as you follow our instructions and the blueprint that we're going to lay out for you. And again, this is all in your areas of interest in your business. This is not where you're going to be like an affiliate for our products or, you know, a business in the box. This is a fully customized and personalized solution, 100% based on you, your business, your experience, your knowledge, your expertise, your hobbies, you know, very, very, very cool stuff. It's going to give you the exact plan and skills to put that plan into action, to build a business that gives you the certainty of a high-paying job with the personal freedom of being an entrepreneur. And you can do it all in as little as 90 days. You can build it all and get it all up and running and started in as little as 90 days. The reality is, if you really want to, you could do it as little as 30 days, but you're going to really have to double down to pull that off. So,
yeah, but let's not even say that, Telman, because, you know, you and I could do it in 30 days, but we already have that skill proficiently ingrained in us.
That's right.
So, you know, like give yourself a break and, you know, like make reasonable progress that works for you. And that's a benchmark, right? Like filter this against whatever makes sense for you. You get to decide what your goals are and what that looks like and what success means to you and should look like to you and in what time frame. And it's our job or somebody else's job that you trust, if it's not us, to tell you whether that's doable or not, and to you know, to inspire you and empower you to go past and stretch when you're playing small and you're a little like you know, hiding out, and also to when to pare it back and to, you know, chunk it down so that you can focus on the important things and get that in place, and find that balance spot until you can do that for yourself.
That's right. That's right. So I want to share with you guys just a little bit about what you're going to get if you are interested and accepted in working with us. And I'm not actually going to go over all of it. I'm going to go over the first two kind of core components. You're also going to get some other pretty cool stuff. You're going to get a lot of foundational material, including several of Joshua's books and additional foundational video as well as audio programs that are really, especially if you're a new student of marketing and entrepreneurship, this will really lay some of the kind of philosophical foundations for you to really get started. A lot of great reading material, great listening material to really get you fully saturated. But honestly, the archive and all these great things that you're going to get, they're bonuses, they're extra. The core of the program is actually really simple, and I'm gonna gloss over it a little bit because we've been on the line for almost 2 hours here, and the NPOD system contains 20 video training modules that were designed to be delivered over approximately 8 weeks. Joshua and I just finished going through and teaching this to a small group of students. And we took all of the video lessons and all the recordings, we put them into a time-released members area. And when you sign up, you go through these steps one piece at a time. And it walks you through the steps and teaches you how, and then helps you to start developing the skills that you need in order to build your very first NPOD business model with your internet business plan once you have the whole thing dialed in and lined up. So in addition, you're going to get specific weekly action items and homework to do between each and every lesson that you have to take action on in the real world that actually creates the business that you're building as you learn how to build it and start developing the skills. So this isn't the kind of thing where you go through an 8-week course and then you know everything, but you have nothing to show for it. This is the kind of thing where you go through the course and by the time you're done, your business is up and running and you're cooking. Okay. You're getting subscribers, you're driving traffic, you're making money, and you're selling stuff if you follow all the instructions. Very, 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 very powerful stuff. We've noticed that there is one thing that really does stop people, that really hangs a lot of people up in moving forward, which is the fear. And this fear is that nobody's going to listen to them online in their market, industry, or niche. For a lot of people, you may have heard of the term imposter syndrome. This is the feeling that, why would anyone listen to me? Why am I special? Why would anyone watch my videos? Why would anyone listen to my podcast? Why would anyone read my blog posts? Why would anyone read my emails? Why would anybody give a crap what I post on social media? And this is something.
Can I just, Jeff asked a good question. I don't know whether I should address it now or just let you finish what you've got here. I know it's important what you're talking about.
What's got? What's the question?
Well, Jeff wants to know does this work with an existing business, though? The short answer is absolutely, and maybe not. And the real answer is we need to know what it is that you're looking to apply it to and how it needs to be adapted and adopted, so that we can help you. That's where the more important piece of this goes, where the learn by doing framework, the experiential aspects of this are like, how do we customize the learning modules, the discovery zone modules, to your specific situation, and how do we help you, empower you to, what to leave out, what to focus on, given your specific situation and given your specific goals and dreams and where it is that you say you want to get to.
That's right. So it is very rare that I see a successful existing business that can't apply these methodologies in order to have a far more successful version or additional income stream for that business coming by applying these models.
Sure.
However, we do often have business owners that go into NPOD with the intention of growing their existing business and get so inspired and excited about starting something new that's based on a new personal interest or hobby that they have more passion for than their existing business. So we have many NPOD users that have used NPOD in order to grow their existing business, and many business owners that have just used their inspiration to start a brand new business and start a brand new thing. So both are usually possible. But it doesn't work every single time with, honestly, it's more about your personality and your approach to the world and what you are and aren't willing to do and where you are and aren't willing to get uncomfortable. That's going to determine whether or not the methodology will be successful, in my experience. But if you have a business that doesn't involve selling products or services to people, then it might be hard, right?
Here's a quick little test, actually, that might be helpful to you. If there are things that you wish that your ideal clients or customers came to you already knowing and believing about you, about your business, about your offer, about what you have to offer, if you wish that if they only knew this, this, and this, and if they only truly understood this, then and they had this issue, that they would absolutely want what I have to offer.
That's right.
Then chances are real good that what we are laying out for you to build will work gangbusters and put it on, like perpetual income, perpetual impact, perpetual influence type aspects of things. One more thing, Gail McDonald, if you wouldn't mind, I see your hand got raised at some point. Can you type it into the chat, because we have a tough time monitoring both areas.
Yeah. So this is a real big deal, and we have developed a very specific process to help get you over imposter syndrome fast. And it's a learn by doing approach, where we are going to put your feet to the fire and get you uncomfortable. So one thing that you should realize is this is not for you if you are not willing to get uncomfortable and do some things that make you feel inadequate, nervous, or awkward. Like if you're not willing to get yourself out of your comfort zone, this definitely isn't going to work for you. Just heads up. So, however, I recognize that this feeling of nobody's going to listen to me is very common for people, and I can't wait to help you break through it. So, we all experience imposter syndrome to some degree, and we're going to show you how to select an audience where you have knowledge, where you have experience, where you have expertise. And if you don't have those things, where you have interest and enormous curiosity. So the NPOD system, when you have a fully customized, detailed business based on what drives and interests you, I'd like you to just think about how much more clarity that would give you and how much more confidence you would have so you can move forward and actually create the business of your dreams finally. Okay, all 20 modules, in my rough estimation, easily a $10,000 value plus. I mean, these principles have made me millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's kind of like a priceless kind of a thing. It's basically limited based on your dreams and your ability to and willingness to go after them, right? So you're going to get the 20 module NPOD video training system, but you're also going to get 12 weeks of action calls. Okay, each and every week, you're going to have an action call with Joshua Shafran, who you see right there, handsome man, and myself, where you help to refocus, and where we're going to help you to refocus and answer all of your questions and help you to move forward whenever you get stuck or need help along the way. Okay, the action calls are where the rubber hits the road. And if you find yourself getting stuck, whether it's getting stuck in your head or just getting stuck with not having the right skill or not knowing how to improve something, or you need help with your subject lines, or you need help with this piece of technology, or you need help with your sales letter, or you need help with your whatever, that's what they're there for. We are there to get you unlocked and get you moving forward at the speed of light, right? We do these private group coaching calls, and we help clients with their mindset, skill development, copywriting, technology, marketing strategy, product and content creation. And we help you to focus on the actions that you need to take each and every week to move you forward at the absolute greatest speed. So you can do it, and you aren't going to go at this alone. We are here for you, and so is the rest of our incredible and super helpful, generous NPOD community, all of our clients and students that are going through the program with you. And so those 12 weekly calls are, easily worth $1,000 a piece. They're usually 90 minutes, 2 hours. Joshua and I are both usually on them together, easily a $12,000 value. So between the 20 NPOD training video modules and the 12 weekly action calls, we're already at $22,000 worth of real world value. And the issue here is that you're not going to be able to just buy your way in today. Okay, I'm afraid that's not how this is going to work. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to allow you to spend a dime as a result of this webinar. This is not going to happen right now. Okay. Joshua and I have been at this a long time, as you can imagine, 40 years between the two of us. And we are extremely selective about new clients that we take on and that we allow into our community. Simply put, we don't want to let anyone in that isn't set up for success. We need to make sure you have the right mindset and the right expectations about how much it's going to take in order to create what you're dreaming of here, right? And that's completely individual and different for everybody. So if you're fired up to customize your business plan for you, and you'd like our help and guidance putting it into action, then let's talk about it. So as you can imagine, I'm pretty busy between being a dad, running my hypnosis business, and working with our new clients, not to mention our daily live streams that we do and our weekly NPOD action calls. I do not have a lot of free time on my hands. And as of right now, I only have 7 spots open on my schedule in the next few days. 2 of them are already accounted for because I guaranteed them to the first 2 people that made all the right guesses on the 3 puzzle pieces earlier. So if you'd like to be
Alex and Jennifer, just so you know, that it has been notated.
All right, awesome. And so if you'd like to be considered as a student for our next class, and Alex and Jennifer, if you just want to like slide in there and grab one of these, like just hustle on this right now. Schedule a time. I need you to schedule a time right now to talk about your business plan before they all get scooped up. As I said, there are only 7 on there right now. And I want you to go to the website at www.letstalkprivately.com, www.letstalkprivately.com. That's a way to book a 60-minute slot with yours truly. I only have a total of 7. And after Jennifer and Alex fill out theirs, that's going to be 5. So if you are still on after over 2 hours of me yammering on here and interested in what we've got going on, then I would encourage you to grab one of those spots before they all get taken.
Can I address a question that is a great one?
Absolutely.
While people are doing that.
Sure. So if any last minute questions, I'm actually a little bit late for a little pre-Halloween thing that I'm doing tonight with my kids. So I do need to get going pretty fast, but I also want to answer any last minute questions that you guys have. So please, by all means, go ahead and type your questions in if there are any remaining questions that you have. So what do you have for questions?
So Gail says, and I think this is a big one for a lot of people, is my problem is I have too many interests and it's hard to narrow them down, for sure. And that's a big piece of this, is how do you filter it down? How do you, first of all, screen out, sift out all of the stuff that doesn't even have any place of consideration.
Right.
Then how do you filter that through what's right for you personally? Like what it is that you're looking to accomplish, what your skills are, what you're trying to, create in the world, the impact that you want to make, and what you're trying to accomplish. And you'll find that if you do those 2 things, that you're still going to be left with a bunch of stuff, but it makes it a lot easier to say no to stuff. The problem why you're afraid to say no to some things, because you don't know whether you're walking past some good stuff, right? And that's that scarcity mentality where we like, it's not that you can't do it ever, but you need to focus in and then decide what serves you. It's like we were talking about with the audience. What serves and helps that, and what is a distraction that you might want to consider on your maybe later list. Okay.
Yeah,
it works for sure on like to help you narrow down. I mean, that's specifically what the original program is designed to. It doesn't assume anything, and it takes you through the journey of getting in touch and actually enhancing more of your interests and ideas, and then how to narrow them down. And by the 3rd module or so, you pick the exact one that you're going to focus on for the rest of the time. And then we help you zone in on that on a regular, and coach you specifically for that journey. And the other thing that I want to say before we wrap here, that I just want to leave you guys with, whether you work with us or you work with yourself, or everything that you learned here are fundamental principle-based stuff that works. And if you take one thing away, in my opinion, from this, is that you need to have a framework that allows you to learn and do simultaneously. And if it's with us, then we've got that as a proven track to run on. It's built into everything that I do. I insist on it in the way that I design everything that I do, because I have learning disabilities, and personally, I have to learn this way. So that's part of it. And I don't want this to be a self-serving commercial just for our stuff. What I'm saying is that If you aren't going to work with us, great. If you're going to go it alone, great. But make sure, do not cheat yourself out of the opportunity. Make sure that you're building for yourself a learn by doing framework that's going to make sense. Or if you're going to follow somebody else's formula, make sure that there's an element of learn by doing, learn and do simultaneously. Because I promise you that you're just going to perpetuate the same problems again and again and again.
That's right.
If you don't have that one key piece.
That's right. That's right. I fully agree. Fully agree. And yeah, you definitely don't want to get caught, stuck in perpetual student mode. And if you're tired of being stuck in that space, this is exactly the process. It was designed to get you out of that and get you into action.
Thanks, Kester. I appreciate that. That's really awesome. I appreciate that. And it's not that I come across as a real awesome and honest friend. I'm trying, that's who I am. This is, I try very hard to be who I am.
That's right.
Like, if we sat down for coffee, that's what you'd get.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't put on a show. Maybe I might have my t-shirts on rather than a button-up shirt. But other than that, what you see is what you get.
That's right. That's right. Very cool. Very cool. All right, guys. So if you want to grab one of those last few remaining spots, let's talk privately.com. First come, first serve. There is a handful of questions that you do need to answer there about yourself and your business that will take you about 5 minutes after you select your time. In order to get that locked in, you do need to answer those questions. If you don't answer the questions, I will cancel the call. And the reason for that is I don't want to be flying blind and waste a bunch of time going into the call. I want to have a clear idea of where you're at and where you're going to the best of your ability to answer those questions. So do that right now.
Just to confirm, Tia, we've got you. We saw your appointment booked in. Thank you. So I just wanted to let you know that you are in fact in there.
Awesome. 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 All right, guys. Well, so bring your business plan that you wrote down to the meeting. We're going to be discussing the different products that you wrote in your products column. We're going to be discussing the different technology you wrote in your technology column. And we're going to be discussing the audience pieces that you wrote in your audience column and really getting those narrowed down and focused in on to really get this thing humming. So that before you even start the program, you're going to have a really clear idea of what it is you're going to build. So there's no obligation when you get on one of these calls, except to show up and show up with bells on, have the time set aside and be ready to rock. But there's no financial obligation to show up to the call. It is important that you're a student, that you're looking for help, and that you feel like Joshua and I and the NPOD system could possibly help get you there. If you feel those things and you want some help clarifying your plan, I'm more than happy to talk it through with you and see whether or not the NPOD system is going to really be right for helping you achieve your goals. So with that said, if there are any other questions, you can totally lay it on me. But I'm not seeing a lot more coming in. So I think that kind of indicates it is probably time to wrap.
Kester, I appreciate your words. Yeah, I think we all have different quirks about how we learn for sure. And so thank you. I appreciate that. And everybody that we've been getting a bunch of comments, Telman, I know that you now probably can see them, but just thanking us and thanking you for the great work and the over the top value that you've given here. And we
Awesome.
Certainly hope that, my goal always, no matter what, is to make sure that people walk away from any exchange of communication with us feeling improved, feeling like they got value, they gained some new insights. And regardless of whether you all choose to do business with us or not, our mission is to serve you and to help you by actually helping you. And, so let that be a lesson of watch what we are doing in addition to what we're saying, because that's the secret. That's what, when we talk about building an audience first, we're talking about like looking out for them and making it so that it's not nasty, it's not mean, it's not like scuzzy or creepy in the way that you're selling people. It's not about closing people. It's about serving them and giving them more of what they like and want and need.
That's right.
And, and being open that, like if it's up to them, whether they want to take advantage of the opportunity to do business with us on this particular occasion. If not, no hard feelings, like we're here for you. We're not going anywhere.
That's right.
And we enjoy what we do and to serve you. So like that.
So if you're ready to really dig in and
Thanks,
give this
Jeff.
give this a go and really roll into 2021 with some serious momentum and force behind you and your business to really have 2021 be a breakthrough year, now's the time to start taking action on that. If that sounds like you.
I just wanted to say that Jeff is booked. We are confirmed that we see that, as is Alex now.
And Jennifer.
And Jennifer just came in. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So all sorts of folks. Awesome. Great, guys. Well, I look forward to talking to all of those who have scheduled in a call and where there are time slots for you in the next few days. And happy Halloween. I hope that your Halloween is fantastic. It was great seeing you again, Joshua. And
as always,
we'll talk to you all very, very soon. Thank you for spending your afternoon with us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, over and out. Bye,
Happy
guys.
Halloween. Spooky.
Toodaloo.
Bye.